All right, welcome to Redacted, a podcast about gaming. I'm your host this week, filling in for the terminally dead or dying Sean, EJ.
I'm Lynch.
I'm Fish.
And I'm Lucci.
Then I'm Sean, because I'm dead.
It's true, he's dying very, very poorly. So we're just going to jump right into the releases. Tim, that's you.
All right, let me just pull up these lists
This
here.
week.
This week's releases for games are Assassin's Creed Unity, Dead Kings on the PS4 and Xbox One.
It's free now.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
In a minute. Duke Nukem 3D Megaton Edition on the PS3 and Vita. Monopoly Deal on the 360. Trivial Pursuit Live on the 360. And Atelier Ayesha Plus, The Alchemist of Dust on Vita. And on to the PC releases, which is
They're my favorite.
Alphadia Genesis, Retention, Disorder, ACU Dead Kings, the Mims Beginning? What? Tengami, Tristoy, Questerium Sinister Trinity HD, and Karma Flow, the rock opera video game.
So wait, is that a real thing?
Yes.
Oh my god.
January 16th.
They're getting more and more out of hand.
The worst one on that list was the Mims Beginning. What even does that mean?
I don't even know.
I think PC releases just confirms that we're running out of words in the English language, which, how is that even possible?
Oh yeah, like was it Nihog or like
Nidhogg, yeah. That was a good game though.
Yeah, Nihog is good.
And all of
it's
its
all
like
fun.
3.5-bit glory. I like how all the Unity DLC is free now because Ubisoft released half a game.
Yeah, they messed up so bad because it was, and they came out with that not too long ago, maybe I think it was last week. They said that all the DLC now is going to be free because they're admitting that they screwed up and there was so many problems with the game. And then, the thing is that can happen with anybody, but there should be a level of quality control, especially when you're talking about a AAA title.
Oh, it's absolutely true. I think I hope that everyone learned their lesson after all the releases that completely tanked themselves in November, because you had Unity, the Master Chief Collection, the multiplayer didn't work for like a month.
Yeah,
and
they're giving away a lot of stuff for that too.
Yeah, they're giving away ODST.
They're giving away the ODST, a special nameplate. A couple other things. Now the thing is, though, I was really excited about this because I thought I qualified for that. I knew it was broken, so I hadn't played online. They're only giving that to anyone who attempted to play online during that broken period.
You should have at
but
least
did you notice?
attempted.
Unity didn't announce that the DLC would be free until 343 Industries came out and said, "Hey, we're sorry, we messed up. Here's all this stuff."
Yeah, because Ubisoft is content to let it go until someone complains enough, or until someone sets a better precedent.
Let it go.
Don't you dare. You know better.
You're fired.
I'm rehired.
No, I'm not rehiring you.
I'm rehiring myself.
And Far Cry 4 had some issues on the one, I think. No, last gen. They had the issues on last gen, which is
right. That's kind of
understandable because it's last gen playing. How was that? Was Far Cry 4 scaled down?
I don't know all the specifics about what exactly was going on with Far Cry as far as how it was handled.
I think it was
architecturally for the older systems. I know in a lot of cases, they've normally what would make sense is they would code for the older systems and then up-res for the new systems. That doesn't seem to be what's happening in a lot of cases recently, and that kind of makes sense to really take advantage of that newer architecture and that newer hardware and that higher power hardware. It makes more sense to code for the higher power stuff to get as much as you can out of it, and then de-res or remove some stuff from the game.
Because I can't remember.
I can't remember what game it was, but they were. It may have been Unity that they set up for the PS4 and the Xbox One, and then they removed some of the individual AI for like group settings with the because it could handle so many NPCs on screen at one point, and they like halved that for the older system, if I remember correctly.
They didn't even. Unity wasn't a last gen release.
It may not have been Unity. I can't
Black
remember
Flag?
which game it was. What I was talking about. Last Light, maybe that might be it.
Maybe. But I know because I know all the cross gen releases last year were all made on the 360 and the PS3 and then up-resed. And then I think it started with Shadows of Mordor, where it was the made for current gen and then just scaled down. Shadows of Mordor was what you're thinking of, I think.
Yeah, no, I think I think you're right. I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Because I think with the way the AI and the Nemesis system is set up in that game, I think they only could have like 20 enemies on screen at once.
Oh, you mean Arkham Creed?
That's fine. That's half of a good game.
Oh, did you hear the new? I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, but apparently there's a DLC or a pre-order set up for the new Arkham game that may have spoiled the game for everyone. I'll have to
I
look it
did
up.
see there was it was a pre-order. Is like a statue that came with the pre-order,
Right.
or something like that. I saw the link and I just closed the screen out because I do not want to know what it is.
I was kind of in the same boat. I'm curious. I'm like, how did, but, and then I'm like, no, I want to play that. And
Actually,
I normally don't care about spoilers because you know me. I'm normally, I want to experience the story, whether I know what's going to happen down the road. That doesn't bother me. I think a lot of people get overly butthurt about spoilers and knowing what's going to happen. Like knowing what's going to happen is somehow going to change their enjoyment of the system of whatever story they're involved.
Going through the twists and the surprises, like going in cold, I honestly do think you enjoy it better because like I've seen movies where I've had stuff spoiled for me and I didn't like it because I remember I'm like
specific thing. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Knowing when the specific thing might happen so far down the line, I still want to see how they progress from A to B.
Yeah, half the fun, or most of the fun, should be like the actual progression from A to B. Where
Correct.
Even if you know what B is, you still have a really fun experience getting there.
Do they have any idea
Right.
why they would have done something that was that obvious? I mean, how does that slip past?
I don't think it was Rocksteady that did it. It was either a leak, like a leaked image that shouldn't have come out, or it was like a third party like statuette company.
It was the spoiler.
Yeah.
The supervillain, the spoiler.
Yeah. R.I.P. Internet Box. Yeah, all this pre-order stuff's getting a little out of hand. Like, there's the pre-order bonuses, pre-purchasing bonuses. I saw for Evolve, there's a pre-purchase bonus. They actually had to clarify. Like, a 2K called, I think it was Kotaku, and clarify that it wasn't a pre-order, it was a pre-purchase, which is almost worse.
Yeah, it's basically forcing you to buy the game if you want to have this freaking maxed out character.
Oh, it is all four of them.
Yeah, it's all four.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. It was all four characters.
If you pre-purchase Evolve on the Xbox One before or during the Xbox One open beta, you get exclusive instant access to Wraith, Parnell, Abe, and Caria and Cabot during the entire beta. Better yet, pre-purchasing on Xbox One guarantees that these characters are instantly unlocked when you pick up the final game. And all those characters, I believe, are like the fully maxed out versions of all of the classes. So instead of actually playing the game for all the unlocks, they just hand them to you at launch.
Well, you know, other games have done this with like various DLC and whatnot, and it's normally not as an involved a game as involved. Well, I guess Evolve. It wasn't. The game mode sounded really cool, but it doesn't sound like a particularly involved game as it is actually. But like Burnout Paradise, you could buy the Time Saver pack, where you just had all the cars and all the motorcycles and all that stuff unlocked, and sometimes not having as much time to play a video game as you would like. That's a nice feature to have.
There's a difference between paying extra to get these things like the Time Saver pack or like the pay to win kind of. Okay, you get this character, this max character. If you pay extra money, it's when they come down to pre-buy this game before anybody even really knows anything about it. And you get these extra features without having to put any work, or getting like the DLC later, or getting or like waiting for the Game of the Year edition, or
yeah. Is that in any way though maybe a sign of discontent with games in general out there?
No,
I'm thinking along the lines of a company probably stands to make more money if it turns out that they make an absolute shit game and a bunch of people have already put down full payments down for those games.
It's not.
You don't think that has anything to do with it?
It's not necessarily that. It's just that the companies want to try to buy sales numbers by giving away just basically end-game content for buying the game before other people. But pre-release. So they lock you into buying the game just in case the game turns out being crap and no one buys it anyway. They have all those numbers already locked in.
Yeah.
It's just gaming the system.
Yeah. And it's kind of it's kind of crap.
No, it's
a
it's
whole
cool.
lot.
It's just like, oh, you get a special skin, or oh, you get like maybe a better than average weapon or a better than average starter weapon. Cool, that's great.
Yeah, like
But
getting
like giving
extra-
away end game content for
I wouldn't mind getting extra stuff like with a collector's edition. I love collector's editions. I love getting the cool things. But like when you get the end game content at launch, it's kind of doesn't make it worth playing the game. Then that's how I feel. It's just I can't stand when a game company, as a perk for pre-ordering, pre-buying, it's like, oh, here, you don't even have to play the game. You can just go right to the end.
Yeah, it's
that. But well, then
it's
why
it's almost game breaking. Why make the game?
Why make a game then?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though, and I'll say this: this has always happened after I've completely played through the game. But like Crackdown or any of the Saints Row games, because and this is probably engendered because they're so open world in their design. Grand Theft Auto is another good example. I will play through the story. I will legitimately enjoy the story, and I will get my character as level up as possible. And then when I have 20 minutes I want to kill, and I really just want to wreak havoc. When I really just want to go in and break stuff, I'll pop into Crackdown or Crackdown 2 with my fully upgraded character and just mess around.
There's a difference between a new game and a new game plus.
Yeah, and even then, Grand Theft Auto solved that with their cheat codes. You can do whatever you want in Grand Theft Auto and not necessarily have to save it if you don't want to save whatever mayhem you cause.
That's
and
true.
they just added those in, easier to get in the current gen upgrade, because now you can put the cheat codes like straight in the speed dial on your cell phone.
Yeah, well, that's and they took a book out of Saints Row. They took a page out of Saints Row's book for that, because that's exactly how you put in the cheat codes for the last, I want to say, 2 or 3 Saints Row games.
Yeah.
Was there a phone in Saints Row 4?
Yes.
Was there?
Yep.
It's been a while.
There was a phone in Saints Row 3.
I never played 3.
Yeah, there was a phone in Saints Row 3. I just beat the game again.
Did you?
Yeah, it's really. I love that
not
game
that hard.
so much.
The Humble Bundle this week is giving away, well, not giving away obviously, but they're doing a whole bunch of sales on like the Gat Out of Hell. They're not doing a sale, but they're offering the pre-purchase for $20. And then they're doing like the Ultimate Edition of Saints Row 4 and Saints Row 3, and like the presidential packages and all that. So it's definitely worth something. Like worth looking into signing up for Humble Bundle just for those notifications.
I still need to play Saints Row 4. I played and beat 3 a couple times, and I wanted to play 4, but with it just kind of being like a standalone DLC, I was kind of nervous about it.
I loved it. I still play it. I absolutely love it, and I will still go in. Now again, we're going back into I've pretty much beat the game. I've got the character so overpowered, it's not even funny. I'll pop in and I'll mess around for 20 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah,
But,
that's all you need to do.
I'm looking forward to Gat Out of Hell.
Go in, leave your mark, leave.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to like buying a brand new game, I don't want that.
No, I want to play the game.
I want to play the game,
and earn it.
Now, I want to earn the. I want to get to the point. I want to earn the privilege to be able to go in for 15, 20 minutes and just wreak havoc.
Can I make a suggestion here then? Because it's like, I mean, that idea kind of appeals to me, by having that character on standby. I don't have to use it. I can play through the game like normal, and then I can start a new game with that character, right?
I don't know how it works with Evolve.
Do you know how the gear progression goes in Battlefield?
No.
You don't? The way I saw the thing, it's like the more you play a class, the more you level up a class. It's like new weapon,
Okay.
upgrade skill or something like that, and then next version of the character, or a more powerful, different version of the character, and then it's like weapon, class, weapon, what have you, and then next version, and then and then one final run.
So what you're telling me is this is basically a class character that if you want to play that class, if you pre-buy the game,
you get all the
class
classes maxed out.
Yeah, okay.
It's like what Blizzard did with WoW. Pre-order the game, you get a free level 90.
No, you can just buy a 90 now.
Now you can just buy a 90 outright.
Well, they had that since the launch of WoD.
Yeah, and it was stupid then.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I actually didn't mind it because the grind from 1 to 90 was such a chore.
Oh, they've
oh my god, it was such a chore.
ground that game into the ground.
And
That's
coming
not even a sentence.
and getting people back, I could see where getting paying or getting a free level 90 with a pre-order, or paying for a level 90 if they want to get people back, old players back. So you don't have to do that grind to get back up into the new content, where you may have played a lot of the old content and you just don't want to.
Yeah, it's like a level 90 with tier 1 gear, right?
Well,
I don't think it's not tier. It's the heirloom gear.
Oh,
so which is bind on account.
well, here's the thing too.
Yeah.
If we're talking about grinding, Destiny, I had to walk away. I can't do it any longer. And I don't want to get too far in on this, but I, after the quote unquote optional DLC update, it's not optional. It just isn't. I mean, the amount of stuff that they've changed, it's come up like 2 or 3 times now. The Nightfall or the daily has been unblocked behind DLC if you haven't had it. Now I bought the DLC, but that reset all my almost all my progress.
Yeah, it's a free to play MMO in disguise.
Yeah, but I mean, I've kind of gotten to the point where I now feel like I have this other hill to climb, and I just don't have the energy for it right now.
Yeah,
I don't know. I understand where you feel that your progress has been reset, but
it's more like plateaued. Yeah. It's not even reset. It's more just like plateaued, and now I'm looking to this next mountain I got to climb, and there was so much effort to get here, and the problem I have with it in a lot of cases is to level relies on random drops in a lot of cases. I mean, either that or a shit ton of grinding.
No, it doesn't. It relies on a shit ton of grinding. That's exactly right, because the consistent way to get gear is to grind Vanguard marks to get the Vanguard gear.
Which used to be a whole lot easier.
It's still pretty easy.
Oh, hi, Fish.
I'm still here.
Depending on the amount of time you have to play.
Yeah, depending on and that's what it comes down to, is that it's you can be a casual. You're going to be behind a lot of people. You're going to be behind the people who spend 3 to 4 hours a day in the game. And
right, and 3 to 4 hours a day I don't have.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. You don't have to have it. Like the one nice thing the one thing I like about Destiny is that, with the exception maybe of the raids, when you go into any PvE setting, everybody is scaled to do a comparable amount of damage.
It's scaled to be within a level of the encounter,
right?
I believe.
So, as far as playing around with friends, it doesn't matter. You can be there with a level 14 and a level 31, and everybody's, the 31 isn't killing every single thing.
Unless you're just Banff, then you are. then you are just killing everything.
But and I agree. I understand the frustration with having work so hard for your character and then having them change everything and having it be just frustrating that you feel like you're in that constant grind. But I personally feel like I had just gotten, before the DLC came out, I just got my main character to level 30 and maxed. And as soon as I did it, I realized
none of it mattered.
Plateaued. Huh?
None of it mattered? Because then the level cap bumped up and all your gear was useless? Not useless, but
had to be upgraded.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me. I was actually glad for that, because I realized that as soon as I hit 30, I had nowhere to go. I had everything maxed. There was nothing for me to do. So I think the DLC added a lot of content for people who had already hit 30. And a month and a half later, or almost a month and a half later, I'm still working on getting to a 32, which I thought would be hey, I'm gonna get some armor and
we'll do the raid once or twice, and then we'll have a level 32.
Right.
How it was in vanilla, where it was I'll go do Vault of Glass a couple times, and hey, look, I've got a 30 now.
So personally, I'm really still enjoying it, but not to stay on Destiny much longer than this.
Thank you. You're looking forward to the much larger expansion that's coming out some point in the future, though, right? I mean, that's going to bring people back.
September. Yeah.
I mean, I imagine
I'm
that's going to bring
excited.
a lot of people back.
Well, they
'cause it's supposed to
leaked
be
a lot of
huge.
stuff. Someone leaked a lot of stuff a week ago. There's 2 more expansions, and then what looks like a larger DLC or a separate game called Comet.
Yeah, I think it's like the first on. It was like I think it's the first DLC that they were gonna make after
House
like
of Wolves.
House of whatever the hell the last one just came out with, and House of Wolves.
Dark Below.
Yeah, Dark Below. Those two, they pretty much had those set to release at launch. So that was always part of the plan, like when it went gold.
Mm-hmm.
I think Comet is the first response to everyone saying how they think that there's not enough, because it went from like 3 story missions and like 2 raids or whatever the hell the numbers were, and the same thing for House of Wolves, to like 12 new story missions and like 15 raids and like all that crap.
I am on board with the whole where it felt like where it was Activision going, you have to break this up into a game and two DLCs within a year, and Bungie going, wait, what?
I think it was more. I think is Activision be like, oh, you have most of a completed game? That's fine. You can just release DLC. And I think that's what they did with the leveling system too. Like they had kind of a system in place that they were going to work with, and Activision's like, no, that's fine. Just do that.
And
you can raise the cap later.
Here's the thing with the leveling system. This is something that's worked in personal opinion. This is something that worked well with Borderlands 2. Is they released the base game, and then throughout 4 subsequent DLCs, they raised the level cap. So I'm not surprised that that's the route they went with Destiny, because that's a system that has been proven to work.
And I don't personally mind paying for the DLCs because I have my formula, and I don't know if I've ever said it on this show. I have no idea. The amount of hours spent playing a game must be greater than or equal to the amount of dollars spent on a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
to make it as just a how like worthwhile of a game it is, like from like a money standpoint.
Getting your entertainment's worth.
Yeah, getting your entertainment's value worth. There are games where you do have the exceptions to that formula. You have like that wonderful game like StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. It was in my opinion, it was a perfect 10 as the solo single player mission. I only got 25 hours out of it. I paid 90 for it, but that was the collector's edition.
But the 25 hours, it sounds like you really enjoyed. I mean, it's 10 out of 10 for you.
I loved it, and it's like there are games out there that can be the exception to the formula, and it's like Dragon Age 2. It was such a chop job, and like it was rushed. I still really enjoyed every hour that I played.
Yeah.
So it's one of those exceptions to the rule where like I may not have played more than 60 hours in the game, but I paid the $60 for it because I really enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, I thought the story was worth it for Dragon Age 2.
Yeah. Well,
people complain about it. It's just like I liked it.
It was a DLC package because it was a rush job because they were told that they needed a new Dragon Age game, and BioWare went, "What?"
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
And with and I take that the formula with MMOs a lot because I'll put thousands of hours into an MMO and I'll enjoy every minute of it, and I look at it and go, that's worth it because it completely shatters the formula to the point where it's like the ratio of hours played to dollars spent is so large that it just makes that ratio minuscule.
You're almost practically getting paid to do something you enjoy.
Yeah. And like nowadays, if like you make a good Let's Play video or something, like a good Let's Play series on like games or whatnot, you basically are getting paid to play video games, to play something that you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
we live in the future.
Get paid to play video games. God.
And yet ESPN still won't acknowledge esports.
That's hilarious.
They have poker. Argue. You can't argue.
WSOP is a legitimate sport.
Well, with Amazon buying Twitch, I'm almost surprised that they're not maybe trying their hand. Like, I mean, Twitch has taken off in the last year or so. I'm almost a little surprised they haven't tried to do something similar to ESPN and just make it a basic cable channel, or make it, just, hey, let's make it like ESPN and 8, the Ocho. Like,
I think they're
just
getting
throw it up
close
and
to it.
see what the numbers are.
I honestly think they're getting close to it.
They got to be getting close to it. But how many different
I think
not leagues, but organizations are out there for MLG, anyways?
I think at least 3. There's the legal. There are the specific ones like League of
Well,
Legends.
you have the specific ones,
Right.
but you don't have like one overarching governing body.
there is
for-
MLG.
Well, okay.
Isn't MLG like its own organization?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I
yeah.
have
it was.
so
It's
many.
its own organization.
Okay.
Yeah, and then but that's not quite as big as like the individual ones. Like the League of Legends one's huge.
League of Legends one is huge. The Dota one is huge too.
Yeah, Call of Duty's getting bigger.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Like it, the competitive stuff is it depends on the game, but it really comes down to finding
What's
like a huge.
What's going on with EJ's face?
No, I just saw some of the screenshots for the space game I was talking about earlier.
Oh, what? Elite Dangerous?
Oh yeah, 400 billion star systems.
Yeah, I'm buying that.
I just saw some of the screens for it. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I might pick that up today.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Well-
I want it.
But I feel that with the esports, that there's no they really haven't given it a whole lot of thought to actually like televise it as more of a, instead of like going the way that they have where they stream it online.
It's because if you're going to televise it, you would have to compete with the streams, and the streams are always going to pull more
Yeah.
because you don't need to pay for the streams.
Mhm.
And if you do, it's like $3, and people are going to pay that anyway.
Yeah, I don't see why
as
they would
opposed
need
to
a.
having the Ocho.
I don't, and you brought up ESPN. Who gives a crap about ESPN's a bunch of turds, anyways.
Yeah, I know they are.
Well, I just brought them up because they're the major sports network.
Unless like somebody knifes somebody on the hockey rink, they don't talk about hockey. So
Can I just do something real quick? Tim's views do not do not
Do not reflect redacted.
exactly. That's
my views are my own and my own only.
Well, ESPN
Now, that
might
being-
not be.
That being said, I agree with him, but my views are not.
As the face of
The
redacted,
show is
your
sentient.
views are not redacted's views.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Regardless of
We haven't come to a
ESPN's,
consensus yet.
Regardless of ESPN's thoughts on it, though, I mean, the government itself is starting to, if I'm not mistaken, release visas purely for gaming. I mean, I think they're starting
Yeah,
to
they are.
recognize that with the cash prizes involved, it's not that much different than any other athletes that come over to our country to compete or leave our country to compete.
They have pro poker players. They have pro bass fishermen. They have. I mean, it seems like anything in years past
Bowling
you could
is
have
still a
taken as a hobby is now there's a pro level for it somehow.
I saw. I don't think it was ESPN, but I swear to God, I think it was CSN. I saw the foosball World Championships on television.
How was that?
Was it all in German?
No, they did it in like Vegas.
I'm just waiting.
And-
Well, I mean, I used to be on a professional
Snooker.
yeah, well, it was BCA. It was pool league.
Oh damn it! I was trying to.
Hey,
But-
trying to mess with them.
when I had when I because I was watching poker or something on CSN, and then the foosball thing came on, and
Were you riveted?
the tagline was, and I shit you not, it's time to foos. I couldn't. I could not. I just sat down. I muted the TV and wept for like 15 minutes.
Could you not even?
I couldn't
Well,
even.
Call me intrigued.
Oh, I'd watch it just based on the tagline.
Oh man, and they were like really excited about it too.
Oh yeah, it's foosball.
I posted a thing. No, we'll talk about that
On the other one.
Yeah, the other one.
Were the competitors in top form, though?
No,
I mean, they were all sleek,
Oh yeah,
athletic.
they were. Yeah, they looked like they were all swimmers.
Speed
They
suits.
all had swimmers' bodies. They were all wearing like Nike full swimming suits.
Swimmers' bodies, like you mean multiple crammed into one?
Yeah, yeah, and swimming caps, goggles,
The centipede edition.
webbed
of
gloves
foosball.
for swimming. It was a little much,
Wow.
but
They got to get that extra grip.
yeah, that's so gaming.
Well, foosball
All right.
is gaming.
No, it is.
It's technically tabletop gaming.
It does fall under.
No, that would count as gaming. I mean, and I've said this before. Like we focus heavily on video gaming because that's where really most of the news comes out. But we all do some form of tabletop gaming in the form of either like RPGs or tabletop games, board games. Yeah. So I mean, that is all territory that we will eventually, branch out into depending on what comes up.
Yeah, depending on what comes up, who's really on the podcast.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah.
What are we recording today? The 10th. We talked about foosball. Note the time. It'll never happen again. Darts was on after.
Wow.
I wish I was lying.
But yeah, if we ever want to get into like tabletop and
It'll happen eventually.
LARP
We just
games, I'd be down.
We just need those people.
Hey,
Yeah.
just to touch on the subject, I got a notification from just the other day that my Horror on the Orient Express RPG set was returned because they had my address incorrect. So I should be getting that.
Your wrong
any day
address
now.
incorrect.
Words?
Your wrong
You good?
address incorrect.
They had my address incorrect.
You'll hear it later.
Yeah. you'll hear
Okay, good. It's me. I always say stuff backwards. Anyway, and then I'm still waiting for season 3 of Zombicide. I should be getting soon.
I still have to buy season 2.
I skipped season 2.
Season 2, the mall.
Yes. No, the mall's the expansion.
Oh, okay.
I really want to get the board building game Apocalypse with a Z
With a Z?
with a Z at the end.
Is it new and hip for the kids?
No, it's an indie board game. I saw up at Too Many Games this year, and or this past year, and I sat down and played a demo of it. It was really fun. It's kind of like Walking Dead and like on like a tabletop with a deck. It's not really a deck builder game. It's a board builder game with a deck of cards. It's really fun.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good.
It really was a ton of fun, and I gotta find a copy of it. I just can't find one, other than like going to like one of the conventions that they're doing one of their displays at.
Check when we go to Wicked. Foam Brain Games will be there, and if they don't have one there, you could probably order it from them and have them ship it directly to you.
I don't know what they're because it's by Nine Kingdoms Publications, and I don't know
Don't
what
know if
their
it's one of their suppliers.
yeah I don't know if what their distribution has been so far, because as far as I knew at Too Many Games, it was basically just like the Kickstarter stuff that just went out. That was it. And like their own set of stock to take from convention to convention. So I don't know if it's in any like board game store yet, or like I guess I could check Carl's, but I don't know really what the distribution on it is so far. But I really need to get a copy of it, because it's something. I think it's 4 or 6 decks that you get for $40, and it's like an hour-long game each, depending on how many players you have. So it was a ton of fun. I loved it.
Well, sure. Now I have to check the Linkdump.
Yay.
It sounds awesome.
Poor baby.
They're on Facebook website. Nine Kingdom Publications. Apocalypse with a ZE on the end.
Check the link though.
I'll plug them. Yeah, they were really cool guys, because there were guy I sat down and played with. It was it was just a ton of fun to play with, just like play games with those guys. Even though he was like one of like the marketing guys, he didn't really, or like he was like kind of a behind the scenes guy. He wasn't like more of like one of the personable guys. It was still a lot of fun to just sit down and play games with them.
Well, the thing that's going to come across mostly because anyone who's working for the company has a real passion for the game, and they're also going to be well versed in the game. And it's trying to play a game with someone who's never played the game before, especially if you have a whole group. It really takes a couple of sessions to really get to enjoy the game because you have to learn all the ins and outs of all the weird rules and whatnot. So having that is really probably a good call on their part.
Oh yeah. And like even though like we didn't like have like conversations about like the games or anything, it was a lot of like we came to like a mutual understanding and we had a conversation with our play, and not really like having a words conversation.
Okay, yeah, I see.
It's like that old saying from anime and whatnot. We talked with our fists.
Yeah. Talking about games that we maybe we just got or we're interested in getting. I just got what is the name of that game? Lucci, you have it. It's the one it's centered around a pub and you've got like Pookie. Rabbit.
Red Dragon Inn.
Yeah.
Red Dragon. I just got the base game for that, and I also just got Battleship Galaxies.
I haven't heard of that.
It's Battleship in space.
Yeah, pretty much. But it looks. I mean, EJ, you're sitting right next to me.
I am. That's why I looked over and I saw it and I was like, that's Battleship.
Speaking of Battleship, I have plans to make a Battleshots board game.
I saw that.
I will build it. I have the plans. I just need the funds right now.
We'll live stream it.
But we're not going to do it with shots of liquor, but we're going to do it with.
Oh,
I
thank
guess
God.
we're going to do. I guess we'll do it with beer.
That
would
could
probably
be something we could do. That we could do that during our one panel.
it'll probably make the legal liability a lot better.
I had one of my best nights playing a game of shot glass checkers with tequila. So, I mean, I think you're making a mistake going with not liquor,
Okay.
but...
I just saw this little bit of news pop up. The article just got put up 23 minutes ago. Nintendo has pulled out of Brazil. Completely. Yeah, I know.
Phrasing.
There's a joke there.
No,
Just kidding.
Nintendo is no longer selling their games or consoles in Brazil.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because due to the country's high tariffs on electronics.
If you're an online gamer, you have played with people from Brazil. I guarantee it. Guarantee.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
a Wii U in Brazil costs 1,899 Brazil dollars. I don't know what the hell it is.
So a $5 American bill then, or
830.
830.
Yeah.
Wow.
Monopoly money.
The PS4 costs 4,000 Brazilian real, which translates to about 1,500 US, and the Xbox One sells for 2,200, which is just over $800 US.
Oh,
And Brazil
wow.
just does, and Nintendo, I guess, just doesn't want to deal with that anymore.
Well, the Brazilian government is just so corrupt, and just speaking of that, it's coming from that. Coming from like the online gaming community. I did a little research on Brazil, and one of the things that was said is like the average dropout rate, or dropout age from high school. It wasn't even a rate. The average dropout age was 15 in Brazil.
How are these kids affording the systems?
That's a really good
means
question.
that we don't want to suggest on the internet.
It's Brazil.
So yeah, they play soccer.
They play soccer.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's underground soccer. The losers get shot.
They play soccer and they race cars.
So is that saying that Nintendo wasn't making any money on the Brazilian market? Is it saying that maybe their systems weren't being bought because of the cost, and that's why they're not going to even bother carrying them?
I think
or
it's the
is there a
the
message
cost,
there to
the cost
the Brazilian
is sensitive
government?
there, and the it's just
There
the
just
cost
wasn't a
of
big enough
production
return.
and shipping
Yeah.
does not equal the sales there, I guess.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
surprised
I mean,
Microsoft.
to import the system alone.
Oh yeah,
That, and they have to make back anything they have to worry about as far as losing is in shipping costs. What is it like? Customs. There's a time frame that takes as well, and each country is different. Whereas taxes on imported items and whatnot are entirely different. That could be a lot of what's at play here,
Yeah.
because till you get it shipped in, and then the cost of the unit plus the cost of the shipping plus whatever import tax that might be on it could
But-
be an entirely issue.
And then you have to factor in the software distribution sales,
Yeah.
because that's what makes money on a game. It's not the hardware that they're making money on, and a lot of times, especially with like the Xbox One and the PS4, they're losing money on every single
Oh yeah.
console sale, but they're making it bad with the software sales.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, how does Australia get any games? Because it seems like every other
They
game
don't
that comes
because
out, they
Australia
ban.
bans them all. Yeah.
Australia bans them all. No, Australia's a bunch of criminals, so they steal all the games.
Oh,
Again, Tim's.
I'm making jokes. Come at me,
Bunch of
Australia.
thieves.
Send me some fire tornadoes and scorpions.
No, they'll just send you spiders because that's all they have.
No, they've got the world's the highest population of saltwater crocodiles.
no. Don't forget the what are they called? Jumping jack ants or something that could send you to cardiac shock with a single sting.
It's
We're an,
nasty-
we're an
nasty little
educational
island.
show.
it's a land of death.
All right. Anything else?
I make jokes.
You do. Oh God. All right. So that's all we got for news and anything else this week. It's been a slow week news-wise. So
Wish we had more story time, but
we could, but that's going to descend into the next show. It's been fun. I'm EJ.
I'm Lynch.
Fesh.
Lucci.
Sean.
Thanks for listening. Keep gaming.